Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Mind of James podcast. I am your host, James Allville. Welcome. Welcome to another episode, another fantastic episode. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Yuengling Lager. So good. Just before I fired these things up, I had me a nice tall Yuengling at Hooters, followed by a Philly cheesesteak, and all is well. And today's flavor, I think it's watermelon ice, but it's a phone vape, so it's got these fancy little screens on it. Let me take a hit. Let me take that hit, baby. Let me take that hit of nicotine. So what's been on my mind this past week is the interesting always gets interesting. Meaning when you're going through an interesting time in your life, and it's already labeled as interesting, it's going to get interesting on top of interesting. So lately I've been doing this improv class on Saturdays at Improv Cincinnati. And I love improv, and I've met people all walks of life. Specifically, there's a lot of younger people in this class. The demographic is everywhere, but I'm making friends and all this stuff. But the thing is that when you get older, you start to understand when you were their age, what you went through and what they're going through. And it really gets interesting. I have really reflected these past couple of weeks doing this improv class. Man, I was 21, I was 26, and now being 36, it's just, you understand why things happened in your life when it hits you. You know what I mean? You understand why the things that you went through, what you went through them for, and how you got out of it. But it is so wild just to see. It's just so wild to see it. It's so wild to really just to be aware of those kind of things. And just to really reflect on yourself, you know? It's just really interesting to reflect on yourself. When I was 21, I was dating a girl. Been together for about 2 years at this point. Now, granted, we were together for 4 years. She cheated on me 2.5 years into it, and I found out 2 years later. So 4.5 years, yeah. Anyway, what I was doing was completely different than what these couple of people in my class are doing when I was their age. And it's just what would have happened if I went down the path that they're going down at 21 instead of what I did? And it has really made just a lot of questions come up. And I got the mic really close because we're supposed to be sitting here like this for streaming, but I have, turned to the side here. And makes me reflect on a lot of things, man. Makes me reflect on a lot of things. A lot of things I could have done differently, but then again, I would not be the person I am today going through what I did at those ages had it be different. I would not be the person I am today. You know what I mean? So now at 36, and me having just just trying to figure out life still at 36. I kind of got an idea of what I want to do with my life, but I'm not really set in stone. Nothing has really sparked. Well, I mean, like podcasting and streaming. But a lot of those things I still do, and I still will continue to do because I enjoy doing this. I enjoy streaming. I enjoy playing video games. It's just one of those things, man. It's just really weird. It's really weird when you become aware like that and you start seeing that stuff. And it's taken me a couple weeks to actually realize that I'm aware of it. So now you got to process. Now you got to process and how you handle that. You know what I mean? Like you could go down the road of, I should have done it this way, I should have done it that way, blah, 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 blah. You know, like you go down that self-pity road, but what's it really going to get you? Nothing. You can't go back. You cannot buy back a second of time for any amount of money. It's not going to happen. So now that I'm 36, I have to pick up and keep moving forward. And how am I going to rate the history, or how am I going to write the history of the rest of my life? You know what I mean? And you can spend a lot of time sitting around thinking about it, or you can do it. And I say this with all honesty that I love podcasting, I love streaming, but I really feel like comedy is a calling. I really do. I can't get it out of my mind. Every time I think about comedy, it just gives me a soothing thing over my body, just gets relaxed and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, if you're going to do it, if you're going to talk about it, be about it. You know what I mean? It's that simple. It is that simple. So now it's time to be about it. You know, it's time to quit pussyfooting around. You know, blah blah blah, this and it's just you just got to get in there and do it. You know what I'm saying? On the other side of that coin, we still don't know. I still don't know. I am forever not going to know. But if you feel like something is calling you to do it, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. And for me, it is like, I'm gonna keep looking at the screen because my sometimes it stops and sometimes it keeps going. So let me tell you about where I started doing comedy. Was in Denver, Colorado. And you know what? While we're on the subject of Denver, Colorado, let's talk about what happened in Denver, Colorado. I completely lost faith in myself. Plain and simple. I was dating a girl. I thought that she was the reason why I was out there. It just turned out that she was just another distraction and got in my way. And straight got in my way about it. And I only have myself to blame on this. I'm just telling you the facts. I stopped believing in myself, and that's where I screwed up. And that's the plain, like, okay. I got to meet Wendy at the Denver Comedy Works. The woman who basically started the Denver comedy scene. I got to meet her. I got to work at the Denver Comedy Works. And I blew it because I was more concerned about what this girl wanted from me. I fucking blew it. Shot myself in the foot. I got let go because I missed 2 days of work. And Wendy, Denver Comedy Works, you ever see this? I am 100% sorry. It was all my fault. I never cashed the checks you guys sent me while working there. Never cashed them. Never. They're in a bag, in a book bag in my closet. I wrote void on them because I did not earn that shit. I was stuck in my own head. I am sorry for that, and I apologize. So that's where I was, stuck in my own head, worried about what this girl wanted from me more than what I wanted from me. And that's the plain and simple thing what happened in Denver. I lost faith in myself. And guys, let me tell you something right now. You're getting started in something brand new. Do not lose faith in yourself. Do not lose faith in why you are there. And do not lose faith in the Almighty. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And I wish I could go back every day and rewrite that history and make everything right. You know, everything right. I can't. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. I don't want to do well, I do want to do it. I do want to make things right. But we're just going to leave it up to the Almighty on this one, guys. It's all we can do. So I got faith in myself that I know that I'm going to make this right one day. I got faith in myself that I know everything's going to work out. Ooh, the Philly cheesesteak from Hooters. Get the Philly cheesesteak at Hooters. Oh my God, it's so good. And that's what happened. That's what happened in Denver. Lost faith in myself. That is the bottom line score in my, or bottom line anything I talk about in Denver, anything I relate to Denver, is I lost faith in myself. I lost faith in myself, who I was, who I am, and slowly but surely I will make this right. I don't know what the path is yet, but we'll find it. So we'll find it. And the best part is that I realized what happened, and I made a lot of mistakes, and I want to correct them. I want to correct them. I have a drive to correct them. I have a passion to correct them. I have a passion to make sure that I win, no matter what happens. That's it. You know, one day I want to perform at the Denver Comedy Works. I do. I do. It's just I got to stop shitting on the pot as it is and actually get off of it and do something. Yeah, I mean, it was a rough time coming back home, realizing that you shot yourself. Actually, you didn't shoot. I didn't shoot myself in the foot. I blew my feet off with a shotgun. Is what happened. I blew my feet off. But you know how like Deadpool had to take a little time to grow his legs back? I have to take a little time to grow my feet back. So we're growing our feet back. I'm growing my feet back. Got about half of it grown. So we're getting there. There's progress. You know what I mean? There's progress. So we'll just get there, and that's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. But yeah, man, yeah. And when you fail hard like that, don't think that it's completely over. Don't ever think it's completely over, because it's not. It's not. You just got to grow your feet back. That's it. And at some point, I will actually tell you guys the how bad it actually was. But right now, we're just still processing. I'm still processing, and I'm still trying to understand. Trying to understand where I'm at in life and what I want to do. Well, not what I want to do. I know what I want to do, but too, you got to pick the right person to make sure, they got to understand where you're coming from. They really do. They got to understand what you want out of your life. Because if they're not there to complement your life as much as you are there to complement theirs, it's not going to work, dude. It's not going to work. That's why I'm kind of glad that all the relationships I have had have failed, because they didn't see what I see. And they're not going to see what I see. They're going to see an impossible dream with a lot of passion behind it. And if they don't see the same dream, then they don't see it. You know what I'm saying? So count your blessings, count everything that you got. And if you can find people along the way, hang on to them that are good. Hang on to them. Like I see a couple people in my improv class that I just want to be friends for life. I just want to be friends for life. And I hope we get to be friends for life. Because I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of friends. And some days it gets hard. Because it's like you want to call somebody, bullshit with them. Maybe you want to get together for something to eat, whatever. I just don't have that. I'm, out of all my friends, I am the single one with no kids. So, trying to find somebody that's single with no kids as a friend is really hard, and it'll get there, it'll get there. But yeah, that's what's going on in my mind, just thinking about my life and where I want it to go and how I see it. And, I want a podcast to be the best in the business, to be just the best in the business. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see the stream go huge. That's what I want too. I also want to do comedy. It's just, man, you get that itch and you feel like like I said, I feel like it's a calling. It's just, I got to stop being a pussy about it. I just got to stop being a pussy about it. That's it. I've said in an earlier episode, I'm not taking it as seriously as I should. And I should, I really should. I still write. I still write down little ideas of where it could go, of what could happen. But right now we're just growing those feet back. We're just getting settled back in, growing some feet back, and then we'll see what happens when the feet grow back. Because we just take it one day at a time, man. One day at a time. And, I'll let you know how it goes. You're probably going to see it through the podcast because this one, the Mind of James, I'm not letting go. Honestly, all the Instagram and TikTok handles are Mind of JPA, and I probably should name it that just to keep everything in sync, and I probably will. We'll give it, I'll give it another week or two. But I really am excited to see where it goes, and I'm excited to see where this life can go, and I'm excited to see all the things that God has for me. I have faith that I have faith that I am meant for more than just what I am doing right now. I don't know what it is, but comedy's been calling. Comedy's been calling my number. So, crazy. It's crazy. And I've never had a feeling like this before in my life. I've never had such a huge thing in my life to where I say, I've never had a huge thing in my life to say this is where I want to go. I've always had fun being in front of people and making them laugh and that kind of stuff. And comedy is an art form, and you got to respect it a shit ton, because that is the art form that you enjoy. I love comedy. I love making people laugh. I love laughing. I think laughter is the best medicine. And it's one of those things, man. Just one of those things, and I can't quite explain it. It's like when someone strums a guitar. It's like, I bet you Stevie Ray Vaughan, when he took a strum of his guitar the first time, he just was like, this is it. This is all I want to do. This is all I want to do. Same with drummers, like Phil Collins, or let's just say the Rev from Avenged Sevenfold, God rest his soul, or Brooks Wackerman, who now is the drummer for Avenged Sevenfold. Like, this is it. This is all I want to do. So, yeah, that's it, man. That's it. And we'll take it from, we'll just go from that feeling, and we'll go for what happens with it. I look over and I see like the microphone's in front of my mouth here, and I'm trying to get a good area of where it should be, but it's like I don't hear it in my headphone that much. So there we go. That looks good. And this microphone, I got a red one in the closet. I might switch over to that, but yeah, we're gonna make some changes. We're gonna grow along the way. We're gonna grow along the path of podcasting and the path of streaming. I'm not best at it by any means. I do not consider myself a professional at this. But life's such a Joe Dirt quote, but life's a garden. You just got to dig it. Life's a garden. I remember standing after everything was done at a shift at Denver Comedy Works. I was standing next to that stage, and I felt all the energy coming off of that stage. You know what I mean? Like, I saw comics standing up there, the greats, Dave Chappelle. I just saw him talking to the audience, and it was just like, okay, all right. I see now what other people see. I see that thing. Like, I was just listening to the Honeydew podcast with Ryan Sickler. I was listening to Joey Diaz talk, and he was like, I didn't give a fuck if the building was closed or the club was closed. I just wanted to go down there and touch it because I felt all the energy coming off of it. And I felt the same thing standing next to that stage. Standing next to that stage. And it felt so good. And it felt so good, everyone. Guys, ladies, dogs, if you're watching this, cats, whatever. It's just, man, it felt so good. And that's where we're at today. So, you know, I really just want to make people laugh. You know, I love to laugh. I could be having the worst day, and a good laugh will just brighten it right up. And that's the God's honest truth, man. The God's honest truth. You know, we're sitting here and just kind of covered a different couple topics here. I finally put so my brother Midnight Gaming, I believe it is. My brother paints minis for like D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, and I have two of them sitting here. And I bought this cool dragon that like you can put it any kind of way. And I'm looking at it, and I finally put it on my computer desk here, and you know, if you support what you believe into, support it. Like my brother is, you know what, hopefully we have him on the podcast one day. But I was not going to go to the convention that he was at and not buy something that he did because I support it. You know what I mean? You know, I really like those little figurines too. They're pretty cool. But man, so that was on the mind this week. Being aware of other people around you, what they're going through, and where they're at in their life, and where you used to be when you were their age. And I wish them the best. Being 36, I still don't have this shit figured out. But the beautiful thing about Denver was that when I came home, it was basically like the chessboard just got wiped clean. Like a new game started, and now I'm just figuring out my next move. Because life is a game of chess and not checkers. It may take you years to make another move. Years to make another move. And then sometimes you realize that moving within the next 48 hours is the best point. Is the best attack. And life can do that. Life can be a big life is a big game of chess. So if you don't know how the pieces move on the chessboard, I'd start to learn them. I'll tell you right now, pawns move 2 spots on their first move, 1 spot after that. You can either move forward or at an angle. Rooks can move straight or side to side, any amount of spaces. They cannot go diagonal. Bishops can only move diagonally. Knights, 3 spots up, 1 spot over in any direction. The queen can do whatever the fuck she wants because she's a queen, and the king can only move 1 spot in either direction. Those are the pieces that you have in chess to play with. So how are you going to use them accordingly? is a very good question. And here at the Mind of James, here at On the Level Productions, and on the Level 162 Gaming, we are figuring out what piece is gonna move next and where it's gonna move. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for what's to come and what's to happen. All good things, peace and blessings. If you want to come check me out, which I hope you do on Twitch, which is www.twitch.tv/on the level 162. The Instagram and TikTok. Instagram first is at on the level 162. TikTok is at on the level 162 gaming. For the podcasts, we have Spotify here. We are on Spotify. Tastes like Philly cheesesteak. Tasted good. But the Instagram for this podcast is at Mind of JPA. Mind of JPA. The TikTok is at Mind of JPA. You can email me at mindofjpapodcast@gmail.com. And then my personal IG is at the beginning of this video. So I want to thank you all for joining me for another episode of this podcast, of this program, of this therapy session. And love all of you. Fear God, keep his commandments, and I will see you on the next one.